Hello everyone, it's Matt here, and at long last the R2-D2 part work is actually up to date. So quite a lot of the previous updates has been, I've received a brand new order of these 4 issues, I should kind of get the previous 4 out of the way, so it's going to be a nice change. You know, I'm up to date on all the issues, you know, there's none I've got waiting just to put on. So without further ado, let's have a look at the dome and how that's looking now.
And here is the head, and I've put this panel in because this is now assembled. This is actually all screwed together, and this looks very much complete now. I've got this flap open because this is actually where Luke's lightsaber is supposed to pop out. The mechanism etc. has not been fitted yet because we haven't got to that part of the instructions, but this panel is the only one where you actually mount it to the plastic or metal subframe, and then these panels actually just glued to the metal outer, and that just folds in like that. It doesn't sit in properly, so I might put some cardboard, something like that, to sort of pack it up to make it not as obvious. But yeah, for the moment that's like that. So yeah, the head is pretty much complete in terms of panels now. So we're beginning the fit out and kit out for the panels. So we've got the LEDs and the projector pieces and a few other bits like that, and the status displays. I fitted this piece in, but I think I'll probably have to remove it to put some more pieces in. I'm missing a few bits like there, and here and here, and a few other bits and pieces, but most of it's now complete. And this up here is actually the microphone. You wouldn't believe it, but that's actually a microphone up there, and that is supposed to be that loose. I have checked the instructions, so that does wobble slightly, but it's not too much of an issue for me personally. But yeah, there's not much else to do with the outside of this, at least. A lot of it's actually done on the inside and then facing outwards, and it's all screwed together, so it's all assembled, all fairly nice and solid. But to get to this point, it's been a really long time, you know, and the past 4 issues to get to this point haven't been smooth sailing. I'll actually discuss that in the next segment, but yes, this is very much complete, and this has been the focus of the current 4 issues. There's been one minor change, and that's just some of the rubberized inserts for the screw holes. Some of those have gone into the one leg, but aside from that, this has been the focus on the current 4 issues, with a few other bits and pieces for later. But yeah, this is it for the moment. There's not much to say. You know, everything's as it should be. There's a few bits to clean up on the outside, like there's a bit of a glue stain here. You might not be able to pick that up on the camera, but you can just about see the very hairline bit on there. I'll need to clean that up somehow. A few of these panels are just popping off slightly, so I might need to just try and push them slightly further out. But again, R2 is supposed to be a bit of a worn droid and a bit, I wouldn't say battle damaged, but worn from use, so I've obviously got to do a few things to do there. But yeah, the head's pretty much complete now, except for a few panels and fit out. The inside of it, which is the other thing I should discuss, is looking a bit messy. So you can sort of see there's cables here, cables there, cables everywhere. There's actually cables for everything now, so, except for the stuff that's not gone in. So there's supposed to be something here, for example. There's supposed to be something down there. There's supposed to be something around there. So you can sort of see the inside isn't too bad. You know, it's very industrially looking. You know, it's very much just plastic and metal and a few bits of wiring, but you know, that's it essentially. So now we'll head back to the talking head section, and we'll have a look at what I think of the part work so far.
So one of the things I wanted to talk about is the sort of like progress of R2-D2 and how it's being built. So we're currently in the sort of late 60s, early 70s in terms of in sort of issue numbers. So to give you a perspective of what's been built, you've probably, if you're following this series regularly, you already know how far I've gotten. But this is just a little bit of a refresher. Both legs are pretty much complete. There's still some of the rubber fillers for some of the screw holes to come, because there's a little drive box at the foot area that doesn't have all the screw covers in. I did receive 4 in one of the issues, but it didn't actually say in the instructions to put them in. So I've taken them off the little runner, but just left them in the screw box and tool box, in the little screw and screwdriver box that it came in one of the issues. But yeah, they've not been used, so those legs are complete except for those. There's been no attempt at the body as of yet, which is kind of worrying me, because all I've done to this point is done the legs and done most of the dome, or the head, depending on what you'd call it. So there's not been a lot of work done on the sort of like body. And one of the things I do want to point out, and I did actually read this in the things, was that the battery for R2-D2 isn't included. So the supposed run was 100 issues. So if we are now in the 60s, that essentially gives us 30 issues to build the body, get all the wiring done, and do the third leg, because obviously you've got the two side legs, but then you've also got the one underneath to actually provide that third wheel and that stability. So it's going to be interesting to see how these next 30 issues pan out. Personally, I believe that it will actually go beyond the 100 they originally stipulated. So obviously the magazine comes in a delivery of 4 issues, which is why these have been sort of like 4 issue updates. So for me, I'm kind of going to guess that we're not going to see 100 issues, we're actually going to see more than that. So I would guess that at a minimum there's probably going to be another 12, probably 20 issues to bring it up to 112 or 120, but there is always going to be possibility for more than that. They might do a couple of special editions to sort of get the parts up, but the thing is that with the body at least, is that I imagine a lot of it will just be empty, because obviously the drive motors are in the feet, so that's essentially traction taken care of. The only thing the body has to do or contain is sort of like the battery, the controls, the antenna as well, because obviously it's still got to receive controls from a smartphone via Bluetooth and a few other bits and pieces, so it will still need some sort of antennas to pick up those radio signals. And obviously it'll need it to hold the third leg and the motor for that and a few other bits and pieces if that leg's motorised. And obviously the motors do turn the actual shoulders forward and backwards to actually change it from standing up mode to actually run mode. So yeah, there's still a lot to do from my perspective to get R2-D2 complete. So it's going to be interesting to see how the next couple of months pan out for that. But anyway, that's this update over with, and you'll see more coming up very soon.